The channel leading into the inner harbour was cut in the year 1830, and Lowestoft's first bridge was built over it that same year. The bridge was replaced in 1897, and the present Bascule Bridge was built in 1971. Sailing into Lake Lothing, later known as the Inner Harbour, after an outer harbour was completed in 1850. Immediately on the right is the old Custom House. It is the oldest building in the whole area. In the 1960s and 70s, opposite, on the left, once stood an immense crane used to unload huge components for Sizewell Nuclear Power Station. Beyond this, on the right, is the dry dock, also known as a graving dock. The first one was built here in the year 1856. Past this, on the same side, is the gaunt, ugly grain silo. It is still used every year to store grain grown in this region, and which is shipped out from here. Opposite, where Asda now stands, was Richards, an important shipyard in the early 20th century. This stood, in Victorian times, where there had once been a large food factory. The inlet next to Asda marks the remains of a much larger inlet known as Kirkley Ham. In early times, a river flowed into this. The works being carried out here on both sides of the harbour mark the site where Lowestoft's new Gull Wing Bridge is being constructed. A trio of pupils from Somerleyton Primary School came up with a winning name in a competition of schools to christen the bridge, beating 21 other entries. It has been hailed as an iconic and important bridge for Lowestoft. And after more than 100 years of waiting, dreams have become reality, as the start of construction work on Lowestoft's Gull Wing third crossing has been formally marked. The new Gull Wing Bridge costs over £126 million, and it will cross Lake Lothing and link Waveney Drive to Denmark Road and Peter Way, and it's expected to open in the summer of 2023. Here on the left is the site of Lowestoft's Victorian ice-making factory, and later the large cooperative canning factory. Further on, the area of scrubland marks the remains of a very large tract unenclosed heathland known as the East Heath. Opposite here, on the right, is the main office of Waveney Sailability, a trust set up by local Rotary clubs in 2005. Run entirely by volunteers, it offers sailing opportunities for those with impaired health or disabilities. East Suffolk Council, based at Riverside Office, first opened in May 2015. The accommodation project cost £13 million, but would save the two councils more money long-term due to past, older councils' buildings needing repair and general upkeep regarding costs. Building work took just over a year and involved the construction of a 3-story building, complete with conference room facilities and public cafe on the ground floor, with workstation areas on the upper floors. Riverside houses around 450 Lowestoft base staff from Suffolk County Council and East Suffolk Council. Until the late 1800s, both sides of the lake here consisted of fields and mudflats. As Lake Lothing curves to the left, on the right-hand side, the Lowestoft to Norfolk line can be seen. Before this was built and opened in the year 1847, there was a very large inlet of the lake here. The railway line separated this from the lake. Today it is known as Leith's Ham. It is still there at the bottom of Normanston Park. Here, on the left, can be seen the stark and empty buildings of Lowestoft's biggest shipyard, Brook Marine, later known as Brook Yachts. It was here in 1986 that Richard Branson's fast motor yacht, Virgin Atlantic Challenger II, was built and launched. Skippered by Branson himself, in July that year, she successfully crossed the Atlantic in record-breaking time. Looking back to the right, close to the water's edge, through scrubland, and then threading its way through the assorted buildings, is a public footpath and right-of-way. This is a very ancient track, which 500 years ago was known as the Old Way. Its age and origins are today lost in the mists of time. Further westward is the modern Lowestoft Marina with private moorings. Here on the right are the futuristic boats and equipment of Peaton's Offshore Survival Centre for the training of men and women in maritime survival techniques. Beyond that is the International Boat Building Training College. Here students are taught how to build wooden boats using traditional methods. The Carlton Swing Bridge dates from 1858 and carries the railway line from Lowestoft to Ipswich and London. The present bridge is a much later replacement for the original wooden trestle bridge that first carried the line over the lake.
Yeah, we're a good foot. Easy, easy.
Okay.
Mudford Lock and Bridge, the latter built in the 1990s, date from 1828. Until Lake Lothing was connected to the sea in 1830, it had been a freshwater lake until it was joined to the sea. Prior to this, it was connected to Oulton Broad by an arched brick bridge. The lock was installed to prevent the fresh water of the Broads being spoiled by the salt water of Lake Lothing. Even today, this end of Lake Lothing is known to local people in Oulton Broad as the salt side. The site of the current park used to be known as the Everett Estate. Philanthropist Howard Hollingsworth was a close friend with its owner, Nicholas Everett. And after Everett died, Hollingsworth bought this estate, and in 1928 he donated it to the town of Lowestoft to be used as a public park. As a thank you gesture, Lowestoft Town Council made Hollingsworth the first freeman of Lowestoft, presenting him with a scroll in a silver casket, which the Hollingsworth family still have in their possession. Hollingsworth insisted that the park be named in memory of Nicholas Everett, and so it was opened with great celebrations on 20th of June 1929. Remembered for his generosity to many local causes, he once paid for all the furniture to equip the new nurses' home at Lowestoft Hospital. Howard died in 1938, while many new features have been added to the park since its original opening, such as the arcades and cafes. The park has remained largely unchanged and is still a popular place for people to gather due to its incredible views across Oulton Broad. Here on the left, found besides the Waveney and Oulton Broad Yacht Club, is Waveney's Sailability's access point to the water. Waveney Sailability is a trust set up by the local Rotary clubs in 2005. Run entirely by volunteers, it offers sailing opportunities for those with impaired health or disabilities. Sailability currently operates every Tuesday between April and October.